I graduated from the class of 2019. I'm a counseling psychology major with a minor in studio art. So I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to make this video for you all in this time of physical distancing and social togetherness, as my current boss would say, to be able to reach you all and speak to everyone about my story, especially when it came to making my children's book, 𝘊𝘍𝘍 Dreams. And I really want to know more about what your stories are. What do you want people to see and how do you want to reach them, especially when it comes to holding our communities accountable or finding holes or spaces where we feel need to be filled. And how do we do that? How do we take those first steps and beyond? My inspiration for 𝘊𝘍𝘍 Dreams is my little brother Calvin, who is a real person and who I modeled this book after. He was born my junior year of college at Emmanuel College, and I was so excited to finally have a little brother. But I was blessed that year, my junior year, to have a little brother by my stepmom and my dad. And I was so excited. The first day that I saw him, I absolutely cried. He was just so cute and chunky and this little nugget, so it was so exciting. There weren't many books that had to deal with protagonists of color or Black boys of color, unless it had to deal with civil rights or really dark or deep history rooted in America. And I just felt it wasn't fair to only have those type of materials for a child of color to read from as a little kid. I know when I was a little kid, all I wanted to read, all the things that I wanted to read had to deal with fantasy, magic, fairies, I mean, you name it, adventure, all those type of things, and I couldn't find a main character that looked like me. And that really, it hurts sometimes to not be able to have that representation and to see yourself. And so I thought, how could I buffer against those negative effects of not having that representation, not being able to see myself for my little brother? How could I stall or help him out as he grows, as his soul ripens in this world? Maybe I should make something that has to deal with him and he's the main character and it's lighthearted and it's fun. So I really wanted this book to just be a surprise to my father. Initially, I did not start out thinking I was going to make a book to publish and to later sell to people. I really just wanted it to be just for my little brother. And so I brought this idea up to one of my professors, Kathy Souls, my junior year of college, and she was able to help me snip and clean up this idea and really allow me and give me the space to do this my senior year in an independent course on bookmaking. I started out with some simple sketches like this. I mean, you can see all my chicken scratch here and these very basic level drawings, but it starts out here. I made a whole bunch of panels. Here you can see, I mean, half color drawings on random sketchbook paper, but it started out there. So that was my process in doing all the sketches. Then I moved on to photographing my actual little brother so that I could have something to base off my sketches. This is my little sister Tiffany Houlder and Calvin Houlder here helping me in my dorm room in St. Anne's Hall. We had a little photo shoot so that I could prepare for really honing down and drawing these images. So after I got all the actual pictures that could pair with my sketches and finding a whole bunch of dream-like images that I could incorporate in his fantastic adventures and dreams that he'd be having in this book. I started to really get down to the nitty-gritty things, like the size of the pages that I would have to be drawing, what programs would I have to use in order to format this book, and all those little things that I normally didn't deal with. From this sketch to this final piece that I used alcohol markers, like what's behind me if you're looking up. I usually use Copics and Prismacolor, but from the final sketch to then putting it in paper and to then putting it in a book. So there's definitely a lot of in between, and a lot of things that I had to learn, which was wonderful, because now I feel like my skill set has expanded. So yeah, that was a lot of the process. I was able to publish it this December 2019, a couple months after I graduated in May, or not a couple, more than a couple months. I've gone through several different printing companies in order to find which one was right specifically for me. So I definitely encourage people to have patience when it comes to that process, because you'll get lots of books back that you're like, oh, I don't really like that, or I don't really want to work with this printing company. They do make great books, but it's not the right size, and this size only is made in that printing company. And it starts with a word, it starts with a phrase, and in my case, it started with a sketch or a drawing. Start by putting those things into paper or into text message or email, and really find out where you can benefit your community or where you can hold your community accountable and add to what's missing or enhance what's already there.